I started rethinking my decision to do this after like 1 week of active work. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, or hello there if you're new. Flipaclip recently announced a new animation contest and I decided to enter. So in this video, I'm going to be working on my entry for the Flipaclip Film Festival. Oh, and I think I should add that I already posted an entry to the contest. It was an old animation that I made last year. I posted it because while I don't want it to be my main entry for the Flipaclip Film Festival, I don't trust myself enough to believe I'm going to upload the finished animation for the animation contest before the deadline. So the video game animation, which I already uploaded for the Flipaclip Film Festival, is my backup plan in case I give up on the project. That said, let's get into the video. There are a couple of steps to follow when working on an animation project, but this project is actually a project that I was working on in the past and I discontinued it. Considering that fact, I already had some half-finished pre-production stuff to work with. But the steps I usually follow when I'm working on an animation project like this one includes character design, just like a basic character sheet, background design, storyboards, animatics, main animation, sound effects and music, and post-production stuff like promotion on social media and all of that. Starting off with character design. Character design was fairly done before I discontinued the project, but I did a little redesign of the character, so we're going to start off with that. This was the main character's old design, but I had a couple of new ideas and I didn't just like the old design anymore. So for this video, we're going to begin with the new character design. So for the new character design, initially I wanted the main character to be based off one of my original characters, but I realized along the way that the original character which I wanted the new character design to be based off didn't really fit the description of the character I was going for, so I made a whole new character design for the main character, which we decided to name Callie. I made about 3 variations of each character design choice, like say when we get to the hair, I would make like 3 different hairstyles and send it over to my best friend for critiques, and I settled for the approved ones or redid the design if none of the designs were approved or stood out enough to be approved. And my best friend isn't an artist, so if you have friends that are not artists, they can always help with this as long as they are able to decide whether something looks nice or not. Then I think you're good to go. This is also not quite important, so you can always do this on your own and choose whatever looks right to you. You do not need to seek anyone's consent on whether or not it looks nice. For the face shape, we settled for something round and cute with a cute nose. And for the skin tone, we chose black skin because I just wanted to make something that felt more personal in that sense. Then we went on to the style for drawing the body. Usually for the body, I would just do 2 long legs that taper inwards for my animations, but my best friend chose the style that had little calves, so that's what we're doing. I did a couple of outfit choices because she does do a lot of outfit changing in the animation. I'm not certain if I am going to keep all of the outfits because it just feels like a bit too much to manage in terms of animation, but that's just something I'll decide while animating. Onto the character's color palette, I did struggle with that a lot, going back and forth with my best friend on whether or not it looked nice. I did at least 5 retakes of the color palettes, and I am not even exaggerating. I low-key still feel that my best friend only settled for the final color palette just so I wouldn't have to do another retake. Also because it was getting really late and we just wanted to get it over with. Anyway, we eventually settled for something and I think it looks kinda nice. After I had made all my character design choices, it was just time to put everything together and make a drawing of the character. So usually you'd want to include a couple of expressions and poses, possibly a turnaround if necessary. I just settled for making a simple standing neutral pose for my character because I feel like if I need a different pose, I can always just tweak it a little bit and get the pose I'm looking for. And if I need another view of the character that's not the front-facing view, then I'll probably just draw it along the way, even if it's going to be more time-consuming than planning it beforehand. but I just feel like that works for me, so do whatever works for you. Moving on, the next thing I'm going to be working on is backgrounds. Drawing backgrounds literally stresses me out. I decided to draw Kali's bedroom first, and it's the only background that I'm going to be showing in this video. At the point of doing voiceover, I haven't even finished the background yet. I only have a colored thumbnail and a sketch. I think I have done a little bit of line art, but I haven't gone that far with line art. So yes, that's how far I've gone in the background. But usually I would just use some perspective, not too much because I'm not really good with perspective, but you need to just know what you're doing with perspective, and then you could like break a couple of rules along the way. So for the initial animation, I already designed the bedroom background, but for this revamp animation, I decided to redesign it because I didn't like the old background. I used the old background as a base for my new redesign just so I wouldn't have to figure out the perspective from scratch. It also just made things kind of easier for me. I also adjusted the perspective a little bit and added a few details to make the space feel lived in. I completely changed the color palette to better suit the one I chose for her, because you wouldn't want the color palette of the character clashing with the color palette of the background. The next step is usually to make a storyboard, but I skipped the entire storyboarding phase because I already had some rough animation done, which is also called an animatics, and a storyboard just didn't feel quite necessary, so I proceeded to complete my rough animation, aka animatics. I just used my rough animation to map out the motion and as a base for my animation, as well as just to figure out the length of the full animation, just so I can schedule work for each day and also calculate how long animation would take me. You would want to put this into consideration to know if you're going to be able to create the animation project within the time frame that you have. And now we're moving on to animation. So I'm just going to give a basic rundown of my animation process, but I would have text on screen to just like explain things a little bit more as we go. So basically, I just start with drawing my character on the first frame, so I can always copy and paste and just tweak things a little bit, but I always start with my character fully lined, fully colored on the first frame. And for my layer organization, I have my background at the lowest layer, and then I have a sketch of my character, which I'll usually delete or just hide as I go on, and then I do a line art and duplicate the line art layer and call one line art and then call the other one color layer. So the color layer would usually be beneath my line art layer, just so those tiny white pixels wouldn't show through when I'm done coloring. So line art would be above the coloring layer, and I'm just going to color on the line art layer, which is beneath the main line art layer. So that's pretty much my process for animation. I keep doing that over and over again till I have to move to another scene, which I'd most likely just begin on a different project, and then I'll just join everything together in my editing program later on when I'm done with all the animation. As for lip sync, that is an entirely different subject, and I didn't work on any lip sync for the animation. The animation project does have a lot of lip sync that is necessary, but not in every scene. At least the scene I was working on in this video, it needed some lip sync, but at the point of doing voiceover, I haven't done any lip sync yet, so that is not going to be included in this video. But if you want a tutorial on how I do my lip sync, then leave a comment down and I would definitely make a video about that. So yes, you can just watch what I'm doing and you see the text on screen. It's just going to explain my animation process a little bit better. What I just did is a basic rundown of what I usually do when I'm animating. So yes, I'm just going to keep quiet now and let you all enjoy the montage of clips. And then from the first frame where I have a drawing of my character, I'd usually just copy and paste and tweak things a little bit if necessary. And if it's a close-up shot, then I just increase my character, like copy the line art and paste it on a new frame, and then expand my character, enlarge it a little bit, and then I just lower the opacity or go to a new layer, turn on onion skin, and then trace my character just so the line doesn't lose its quality and start to look not so nice. So I just retrace my line art and make sure it looks nice, and then I'll color it again and just copy and paste till that frame changes up again. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that I have calculated, based on my calculations for the time that the project is supposed to take me to complete, I know that I'm not going to be able to get the animation out for the contest, but I'm probably still going to work on it during my free time and eventually release the finished animation. I probably make more YouTube videos in the future about working on the animation project, so do keep an eye out for that. That's it for today's video, you all. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day and bye.